This is Joe Gidman with Cafe Cusco, and today what's cooking local is a dish called Lomo Saltado. Lomo Saltado is a traditional Peruvian dish, and by traditional I mean it's basically kind of like the hamburger of Peru. Any family, dinner in the evening when you get home from school or work, it's a common dish that would be made. It's loved by all Peruvians, all South Americans, honestly, and it's a very simple dish that I think a lot of American people like as well, because it's basically a steak and potato stir fry. You start with, of course, in all Peruvian food, you will saute everything with what's called achiote oil. As I've explained in other cooking demos, achiote oil is basically añeto seeds, which you can find at your health food store. They're little red seeds from South America, and you toast them in olive oil, and then you pour the olive oil out, you drain the seeds out, and then you cook with the olive oil. You get a nice red olive oil. It has kind of a smokiness to it, a little bit more flavor. So we'll start off heating our saute pan up. Put some of the olive oil in there. And while that's heating up just a little bit, I'll let you know what the other ingredients we have. It's real simple. We'll start with our steak. I've chosen here what's called a terrace manger. It's basically the thin end of your tenderloin, which you get your fillets from. Now, if you want to buy tenderloin, you can use that. If not, you might want to use a really nice sirloin. You make sure you cut across the grain so that it's easy to chew. With tenderloin, it's going to be super, super tender, really easy to use. Another addition to the dish would be our red bell pepper. And if you want more color, you can use a yellow or an orange. I wouldn't really add green peppers. You definitely want it to be the red, yellow, orange range so that it's a little sweeter in the dish. We'll also add tomatoes, and the tomatoes that I choose is Aroma tomato. I think Aroma just has a lot more flavor, it has a lot less water content to it, and so it's not going to be mushy. It's going to hold its firmness in the dish. And then really the queen onion for all South American dishes is your red onion. You don't really use the white onion too much. You're basically going to have red in everything. It just has a little more flavor, a little bit more spice. And then cilantro, again, common ingredient in every South American dish, except for maybe your desserts. And then Peru actually has a little bit of an Italian influence as well, so there's some oregano in it as well, so along with your garlic. So we'll start. We've got our oil heating up. Go ahead and toss some garlic in. If it flames up a little bit, just turn it down. Get your garlic. You don't want to burn it, but you want to get it a little bit toasty. And right at that point, I actually like to throw my peppers in. Let them break down just a bit, and I drop my steak right on top. At this point, we're going to hit it with white wine. You can use about any white wine you want. You really don't want to use a Chardonnay. You want something a little more semi-dry, semi-sweet. This is what's called a Torontes. It's a typical grape from South America, similar to a Sauv Blanc, halfway between that and Pinot Grigio. We'll throw that in. You really want a good amount. We're not going to add water to this dish. It's basically going to be white wine. Just keep it turning. We'll hit it up with a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic, and paprika. It's kind of a seasoning salt that I usually cook everything with. And our oregano. Since it's a dry product, we want to throw the oregano in a little bit early, let it absorb some of the moisture. Not too much though, you don't want to go too heavy on the oregano. Once your peppers start to cook down a little bit, we'll throw the onion in. We want our onions not to be too mushy, so that's why we didn't throw it in right in the beginning. And we're going to give this dish a little heat. This is ají amarillo. It's a Peruvian yellow pepper paste. It's a very unique flavor. It's an all Peruvian food. It is kind of spicy, so it's up to your personal taste how much you want to put in there. But again, you also don't want to put this in right at the beginning. Right now is a good stage. All peppers, the more you cook them down, the more they lose their heat. And so, again, I guess if you don't want it too hot, you can throw it in the beginning, but I like that flavor and that spice to be there. Alright, you can see the steak's kind of brown. It's still got some juiciness, a little bit of red spots, but it's not well done by any means. At this point, we want to toss in our tomatoes. Again, you save these kind of towards the end because we don't want them mushy. We still want them to have a little bit of firmness. And key ingredient, as I said before, is cilantro. We'll toss this in twice. We're going to toss it in now so that the flavor gets in the juice, but we'll also finish the dish at the end with the fresh cilantro. There's a little bit of a different flavor between the fresh and the cooked cilantro. We really want both flavors in the dish, as well as the color. Just blow the onion out of the way. Now, I did say it was a steak and potato dish. I've already got some steak fries done up here, so it really is a French fry that they use. We'll throw that in. And the final ingredient is actually soy sauce. Peru actually has a large Asian population, a lot of Japanese and Chinese influence, and so a lot of their food came down to South America, and they developed a type of cuisine called chow fa. And for this dish, I am using actually a Thai soy sauce. It's a black soy sauce. The reason I'm using this is because primarily at this point, the dish is gluten-free. So this soy sauce has no wheat in it. You can use tamari as well, which is a common gluten-free soy sauce. But if you know anybody that has celiac disease or gluten allergies, this is a great, simple, hearty, filling dish. Also, if you know somebody who's vegan outside of the steak, this would be a vegan dish. It's real common to substitute the steak with maybe sauteed mushrooms as well. And really, really great, wonderful dish for somebody who may also be vegetarian, vegan, or has a gluten allergy. Again, it's up to you really how much soy you want in there. Usually, well, for about this size, I'm going to say that it's about a tablespoon and a half. You don't want it too heavy on the soy sauce. The white wine and the other flavors is more the ingredient. The soy just gives it some color, a little saltiness. And we'll just top it off with just a little more seasoned salt. Really, at this point, the dish is done. Real simple. Go ahead and plate it. And for color, a little bit more flavor, we want to give a nice, generous portion of cilantro on top. That's a big flavor additive. And that is our Lomo Saltado, and this is Joe Gibbon with Cafe Cusco, and that's what's cooking.